My favorite neighborhood is Moore Park. We've lived there for 40 years in the same house, and it's not the same house we moved into. It's had more makeovers than chairs face, as I said. It's a great sense of community. It's got proximity to retail, to all services, to the subway. Everybody seems to know everybody. The houses don't turn over that often. And it's really a great sense of being placid and being in a comfortable environment, but it's also in the heart of the city. My father was a stonemason. He loved working in stone. And he worked building housing. That was 5 days a week. The other 2 days a week, he'd look for odd jobs to do, whether it was building a fireplace or adding on to something. And I became his chief estimator when I was in about grade 5. On the weekends, my father and I would sit down and we created this little form, which was our estimate form. So around grade 5, I'd sit down with my dad and we'd do a spec of what the work required in terms of how much stone, how much brick, how much sand, and we'd give this to people, and this was our form of contract. When I was at high school, the very first guy I ever met was a guy named Tommy Greco. And Greco and I had simpatico. He and I both came from humble Italian families. We stayed friends right through high school and into university. Tommy unfortunately had a family problem, and that was he had a hereditary kidney ailment. And Tommy was in a hospital at Humber up at the Church Street site. And I used to go to visit him, and I would walk into this facility where the people were just fantastic, and the facilities, unfortunately, were substandard. And in a moment of weakness one day, I said to Tommy that, you know, he deserved to be in a better place, even though the people were terrific. And I said I'd do my best to create that better place.
When he passed, you know, it was devastating for Michael. I mean, it was one of the first childhood friends that you lose. And he just made a commitment that he just wanted to do something to support his legacy.
One day, Michael and I were playing tennis. We came off the court, and he was telling me about an experience, and he knew I was on the Humber board and stuff, and he was telling me of an experience of a close friend of his that had just passed away. He said, the people were fabulous, the facilities were atrocious. I use that as a segue to say, well, Michael, interesting that you should say that. How'd you like to come and help solve this problem? Because we can we have the vision, we can see where we're going, but between here and there is a lot of work. And a lot of the work requires the kind of skills that you have, and you could be a great help.
So I immediately got involved in the building committee of the hospital, subsequently joined the board, and eventually became the treasurer of the hospital, which became my night job.
I have a healthcare background. I'm a nurse. I'm a chief operating officer in a hospital. We have this crazy idea of building a new hospital, and they bring in somebody who's got the wealth and the breadth of experience that Michael has. And I think, oh, do I have enough information to be able to give him? We had an idea that we wanted to be 40% more energy efficient than any other building in North America. And there were people around the table who thought, oh, that's going to cost us, will it work? And Michael, because he truly believes in the environment and using good building practice to improve the environment, was always very encouraging of that and very much, let's do this, let's make something unique for Northwest Toronto.
Michael could see, my goodness, we're going from 3 little buildings to one monster. This is a big building. It's 1,800,000 square feet. We had 3 little hospitals, you know, each was 150 beds. We're now going to one 660 bed. One of the things that he could see is the training coming. How's it going to work? Are we ready for this? Because there's this moment when you actually open a hospital, is that you're opening a hospital and moving people from others. I had this image of people running down the 401, pushing beds of people, you know, to get them settled into this new place, and these are sick people.
We're finally seeing a dream become a reality, the first fully digital hospital in North America.
When we opened the hospital, Michael, who had spent almost 15 years with us helping to design it and hearing about it and talking about its uniqueness, on 3 occasions in that first tour said to me, "Wow, it's just exactly what it was supposed to be."
Cancer wards, treatment areas. I mean, that hospital, it's just amazing.
The day the hospital opened was really cathartic because when I start to think about Tom Greco, I sought out his sister, who was the only living member of the family I can find. And her name was Lolita. I finally tracked her down and I said, "You know, Lolita, my family is going to recognize your brother by putting a little donation together for the hospital and making the dialysis unit in his name." So she was obviously struck by that and started to cry. And then she says, "You know, Michael, the one thing I should tell you that you don't know, I'm a nurse at the hospital." And then I started to cry. So we sort of sat there on the phone sharing that, and she said, "I'm retiring from the hospital, so I'm never actually going to be in the new hospital." But it was one of those moments in time that you can't recreate. It was a great opportunity for me to pay back a friend, a promise I made to him.
We were really pleased that we'd been able to bring this off on time, on budget, for the community.
He saw the opportunity of building a very large, unique hospital, North America's first digital hospital in that community, as an opportunity to contribute and give back to the community. And his guidance, his advice, his practical experience in that was always with a focus on how the community would benefit.
It was a labor of love for a lot of years. One I remember many, many late nights, many full days. He never gave up on that project.
He's a big believer in setting people and buildings and communities up for success.
When you look at giving, there's 3 or 4 ways you can do it. The first is with time. The second is with just knowledge. And the third is with capital. So pick and choose which one you think you're in a position to give.
Every deal that he's done has been a success. I think that's a great tribute to him, to his strength, and just to who he is as an individual.
He's a mentor, not just to me, but anyone who reaches out to him. He will find the time to meet with them, and he's the best papa in the world.
Michael, I know that you've done a lot for NAIOP over the years. You've mentored all kinds of people. You've done hours of work without recognition, and to top that off with 15 years of work on behalf of Northwest Toronto without, again, any recognition is very typical of you. So I just wanted to give you my absolute hearty congratulations.
We remark every day on what a wonderful place we have to work in. We remark on the uniqueness of our environment, the digital technology, and it is philanthropy like yours, your care, your consideration, your advice to Humber River that has truly helped us reach that milestone. Thank you.
Hi, Pepper.
You got it. Michael, on behalf of Barbara and Humber River Hospital, thank you for your contributions to the building of the hospital as a member of the building committee, finance committee, and board of directors. Judging by the smiling faces I see every day, your hard work paid off.
Congratulations, Michael. I've watched you put a tremendous amount of time and effort into seeing the fruition of this Humber River Regional Hospital built, up and running. To see you recognized with the Greater Toronto chapter of NAIOP for the Community Services Award is truly, in my opinion, well-deserved.
We love you so much. Well done.
Can we take a selfie together?
Absolutely, let's do that. By receiving this award from NAIOP for community services, I'm absolutely honored. But I feel like I'm just one of many that should be doing this. So this is not necessarily an award that I should be getting. I think it's a reward that everyone should strive to get in their communities by giving back. Come on, smile, buddy.
Say cheese!
Cheese, there you go.